Alright, today we're going to be making biscuits and gravy. It's finally cold enough to run the oven at 425 degrees. First we're going to make some hash browns to go with this. So we melted 1 stick of butter into a really large skillet. We peeled and chopped and rinsed 8 russet potatoes that we're going to add in here. 2 per person, 2 potatoes per person. Okay, and if you have leftovers, those will make great lunch, so don't be worried about making too much. Biscuits, gravy, and hash browns is great leftovers. This is the same pot that we're going to be making our gravy in, and I just used it to wash and rinse my hash browns, my potatoes. Usually I don't peel my potatoes, but we have been getting some green potatoes lately, so we have been peeling them for the first time in my life. I live in the potato state, and I've never had to peel a potato until lately. Okay, anyways. Oh, we're going to need a lid. Jeez Louise. There we go. Okay, then we're just going to turn these potatoes on to a pretty high heat. There we go. And cover them and cook these for about 10 minutes. Only need to stir it about once every 5 minutes. Okay, for the biscuits, we're going to start with 4 cups of flour. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons, which is a 1/4 cup, of baking powder. 1, 2, that was a little too much. 3, and make that one a little less to compensate. There we go. Okay, 4 tablespoons of baking powder. We're going to add 4 teaspoons of sugar. These are the best biscuits for grape sausage gravy, because they don't get soggy when you submerge them in gravy. Okay, 4 teaspoons of sugar. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. It can be any kind of salt, but I wouldn't suggest eating other kinds of salt. And 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. This is similar to cornstarch. If you don't have it, I'm sure you could replace that with cornstarch. Actually, it'd be a great substitute for that. Okay. Mix that all into the flour to get your spices evenly distributed. Easy peasy. Add 2 sticks of butter, little bit warmer than fridge temperature. And then you're going to need one of these weird contraptions, or a fork of some kind, or you could even break this in with your fingers, which might even be easier. Cut this into the flour until you come up with pea-sized chunks of butter. And try not to make a mess. Oh, you can't make biscuits without making a mess. Every dang time. Look at that. Jeez Louise. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. These are going to start getting all stuck to the bottom, which is perfectly fine. Oh, gosh. Yikes. All those little burnt pieces at the bottom are going to come back off as it cools down when we're done cooking it. And give it a whole bunch of little flavor bits. Sprinkle this with some salt and pepper. It's going to be about a teaspoon each, or a little bit more. Maybe a teaspoon and a half of each. I like a load of pepper on my hash browns and gravy. And that's still pretty light. Okay. Then after about 10 minutes of cooking time, we're going to add in 1 entire diced onion. We're using half of a red and half of a white because that's what we had left over. Sprinkle those all around, and then we'll just let these rest on top while we let it cook for 5 more minutes. Ooh, make sure that lid's not hot before you pick it up. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit to medium high. And we're going to start this oven at 425 degrees. Get that started. All right, now we need a mixing device and 1 1/3 cups of cold milk. Just drizzle that around, stir that in, then drizzle that around and stir it in and drizzle and pour and stir that in. Just use the back of your spoon to kind of push down. Make sure all your flour is moistened and combined in there. This helps break that butter up. I think I'm going to need just a little bit more milk, because you want this to turn kind of sticky, not clumpy. There you go. Just drizzle it in at just about a tablespoon or so. Here we go. Now it's all sticky. All right, so get yourself a spoon here and just kind of form it into about 1/4 cup size ball and drop it onto the cookie sheet. You don't want to like pack it and roll it up tight, or it won't be nice and fluffy. Oops, but you do want it to be stuck together. Some of that butter gets in there like layers. Won't let it stick together. This is the easiest way to do biscuits, especially if you're doing biscuits and gravy. Nobody's going to see your biscuits. They don't got to be all beautiful. They're going to be underneath some gravy. I'm just kind of using the spoon to pick up a piece of batter, because I think if you went to just mush it with your hand, it's going to shove it together, and then you'll have dense biscuits. So you just want to kind of fluff it out here. I do not think we're going to have enough for another biscuit after that. Okay, well, that one's going to be slightly large. Just scoot these over so you make room here. Oh, nice. And then all these little bits and pieces, just find a couple small ones and stick that in there. Oh, so sticky. There you go. Those are like 5-minute biscuits. Okay, and then as soon as our oven gets warmed up, we're going to bake these right in the center of the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Check them at 10 minutes to see if they're golden brown. There we go. Let's check on our hash browns. This should be the last time I'm going to have to stir these. Look at all those tiny burnt bits coming out. You see all those yummy bits? All the rest of them are going to come right off the bottom of this pan after we turn this heat off, which we're going to do here in just a minute after we get those onions cooked for a few more minutes. So perfect. Okay, so once they start falling apart like that, they are done. Make sure your onions are nice and tender. Stir everything in. And if your potato cuts in half, oh, so easily, just like that, time to turn this heat off. We're going to keep this lid on it, and everything's going to come up from the bottom. Just make sure when you go to stir it the next time after it's been sitting for a minute, you want to fluff it so that you don't make mashed potatoes. If you just stir it like this, you'll just smush them all together. All right, sausage time. Get this heat turned up. Add 1 pound of sausage. We're going to want this on medium to medium-high heat. We don't want to evaporate all of the sausage grease that comes off of this, because we need that for making gravy. While you're waiting for this sausage to brown up, you're going to want to stick 8 cups of microwave in the milk. Yep, that works real well. I've tried it. Okay, you're going to want to stick 8 cups of milk in the microwave for 4 minutes is how long mine took to get it warmed up so that you don't have to stand here and stir while you're bringing 8 cups of milk, cold milk, to a boil, because that's what takes the longest. Once that's all browned, make sure you still got plenty of oil down there. You might need to add a little bacon grease if you cooked it too high. We're going to sprinkle 1 cup of flour right over the top here. And you want to stir that in and cook it for a few minutes, about 3 to 5 minutes. If all of your flour doesn't get moistened by that sausage grease, then add just a little bit more butter or bacon grease, or even vegetable oil would work in a pinch. Some kind of oil. Mine almost needed it, but we're just perfect here. That's perfect. Okay, now we can turn that heat up. Just turn it up to high. Let's get this gravy on the road. Whatever that means, I don't know. Just making stuff up as I go. Our biscuits are just about done. Ooh, yum. We're going to need 2 more minutes. Oh, at least. Because they still had... Let's do 3 more minutes. Flour-coated sausage. This is making a half a gallon of gravy. And I know there's only 5 of us, but believe me, we eat all of it almost every single time I make this. Yep. Not quite yet. Those biscuits were big. So we're doing 15 minutes total. 2 more minutes should be the key though. Alright, now that this sausage has been cooking for 3 to 5 minutes, we've got the 8 cups of warmed milk. And we're just going to pour in about 1/3 of it. Get that incorporated. Then 1/3 of it. And stir that in. And we have this on high heat. We're just bringing this up to a boil now. It should go pretty darn quick because we warmed that milk up first. And you don't want to bring it to a boil or anything. You just want it to be slightly warmer than room temperature. Now we're going to bring it to a boil. This part here is the worst part. You got to stir constantly. You want to keep that flour suspended while it's coming to a boil. We are really close. I see steam. If you start with cold milk, this process could take upwards of 15 to 20 minutes, just bringing the milk to a boil. Don't forget to warm that milk first. Yep. Oh, let's check those biscuits. They've been in for 15 minutes. Oh, they are so pretty. Okay. All right, while this is coming to a boil, let's get our seasonings in there. We're going to need a tablespoon of salt, pepper, and basil. Basil. And give it a little stir here. I love the smell of basil in my gravy. And pepper. And salt. Oh, apparently that's what we got because my salt shaker's empty for now. Oh, we'll have to see. And sometimes it's come out just a tiny bit too salty. And if it does, just add a little bit more milk to your gravy. Oh, man. As soon as you get those spices in there, it starts smelling so yummy. It's like, oh.
I mean, I could help with anything.
Yeah, well, there's nothing left. I was cooking while you guys were out. I know, right? Yep. Alright, now, let's see if those biscuits are done now.
The spoon just...
Oh, son of a gun. Yeah, that's not what I like to do. Dang, dang, dang. Thank you for telling me so quick, baby.
You're welcome.
Oh, geez Louise.
person.
Yes, I do need a babysitter. You are right.
So I can't
All right, let's check these biscuits before we turn them off, right?
Oh, you're making biscuits and gravy?
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
You're just going to want to boil this for about, I don't know, 2 to 5 minutes just to thicken it up a little bit. Turn this burner off here. Now that our biscuits have been in for 18 to 20 minutes, we did 20 minutes because I forgot to pull them out. Oh, look at those beauties. Okay, now we're going to walk away and you're going to let this all sit and cool for about 5 minutes because you can't serve your family boiling gravy. Well, you can, but it's not going to taste as good because they're going to burn their taste buds off. You can put your biscuits on the bottom if you want to, but I wouldn't. It's going to be like a little soup over here. And put some of these biscuits. Let me open one of these up so you can see the inside. See that? Smells so good. You put your biscuits around the edge, just like this. Then get some hash browns on this plate. Get all of that crunchy stuff off the bottom when you scoop it. And then turn it upside down so it looks all pretty with all those crunchy pieces on top. Yum, yum, yum. And there you go. Now you got extra gravy to dip your hash browns into. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.